Welcome to the Technical Assistance webinar for the NCATS Clinical and Translational Science Award, better known as CTSA, concerning the recently released UM1 Funding Opportunity Announcement, or FOA. This is Michael Kurilla, Director of the Division of Clinical Innovation at NCATS, and I'll be providing you a brief background and overview of this webinar, followed by relevant NCATS staff responding to previously received questions. After that presentation, we will take live questions with the caveat that institutional specific or unique questions will not be discussed. These can be directed to NCATS program staff for more detailed discussions. The CTSA program is administered by the Division of Clinical Innovation, whose mission is innovating clinical and translational science. The CTSA program comprises a national network of medical research institutions and their affiliated partners and collaborators. In fiscal year 2020, Congress allocated nearly $580 million for the CTSA program. The CTSA program encompasses a full spectrum of clinical and translational activities, including health disparities, as well as rapid response to urgent public health needs and other relevant activities. For FY21, which ends this week, the CTSA program now includes 61 hubs with their Mentored Career Development K programs, as well as their Translational Science Training T program. There are several consortium-wide supported efforts in addition to other funding opportunities. The basis for the UM1 FOA began with a diverse set of inputs, including consortium members and other relevant public stakeholders. Feedback from peer reviewers, as well as NCATS staff with extensive interactions with the CTSA community. Feedback fell into three broad categories, including decreasing applicant administrative burden, increasing hub flexibility and hub specialization opportunities, and expanding hub funding options. Please note that the UM1 FOA does not attempt to address all this feedback. Other elements in the overall CTSA FOA suite, as well as other FOAs, such as the recently instituted R03 initiative, comprise elements of the overall response. I'd like to briefly touch upon a few topics related to program evolution. In terms of hub structure, we are transitioning from a U54 mechanism that comprises a combined UKT application, which is reviewed and scored as a single package, to the new UM1 mechanism with concurrent submission of career and training applications, which will be reviewed and scored separately. This allows for the hubs to be awarded independently. It is expected, however, that every hub will have a companion K program. Award calculation is also evolving. Currently, we factor in total NIH funding by the applicant and all relevant partners over the year previous to their submission, with a minimum, maximum, and a sliding scale tied to 2.5% of total NIH funding. Under the UM1 mechanism, a 5-year rolling average of total NIH funding by the applicant, plus the 5-year rolling average of the NIH clinical research funding of all their relevant partners will be considered. There will be 4 funding request categories based on those total rolling averages. This slide outlines the rationale for the award calculation modifications. As can be seen, the overall CTSA budget as a percentage of the total NIH budget has declined since the CTSAs were transferred to NCATS. Prior attempts to direct this situation relied on the introduction of a max cap for awards. However, with the current number of hubs at the max cap and budget projections showing an expectation that this number will increase by at least 50%, the current paradigm is not sustainable. At the same time, the 2.5% tie will become less relevant for most hubs. Another aspect of program evolution is clinical emphasis. Partners and collaborators remain crucial to achieving many of the CTSA program goals. In particular, increased congressional focus on health disparities, as well as many COVID-related activities, highlight the need for community engagement, promoting strengthening clinical research capabilities across the consortium. The role of the CTSA program in both the opioid and COVID responses justify expanding clinical resources. At the same time, these efforts should also assist in stabilizing and standardizing future budget projections. As previously mentioned, the UM1 FOA was released earlier this past summer, and so the transitioning from a single complex U54 application to a series of simpler applications has begun. Today, we are specifically discussing aspects of the UM1 FOA. The remainder of the CTSA FOA suite has now been publicly released, including the K-12, pre- and postdoc T32s, an R25, and the Specialized Innovation Program, the RC2. We are planning for another technical assistance webinar to address questions related to these FOAs at the end of October, with a public notice containing details to be issued shortly. Now I'd like to turn this over to Erica Rosemond, who along with other relevant NCAT staff will be responding to questions previously received, followed by a live Q&A. Let me reiterate, issues or questions that are institution unique or specific will not be addressed in this forum, but can be dealt with on a case-by-case basis individually. Thank you.